Hello my YouTube world, this is Johnny Mow coming to you with a setup video. We're getting a little bit of rain right now, which we absolutely must have, or else we were just about to head into probably D1 drought. And I've already started skipping lawns, and the temperature has been pretty extreme here, so it doesn't look like it's going to recover. They're going to teeter on drought at what it looks like, but we got a couple hour, a little bit of a sprinkle as you see here. So I called it for a couple hours and I'll wait to see what happens. But I got a request for one of my subscribers. He wanted to see what I was running with and had some questions about the equipment I'm running. Well, in the trailer right there is my Toro 3000 Zeros, and right here I run a Snapper Pro 61 with an ICD deck bagger system. And I just got this suspension seat from Toro. I had another suspension seat on it, but it was like 12 years old and was getting a little worn. I highly suggest, if you're going to be in this business for any amount of time, to get a suspension seat. It's just absolutely a must. You have to do it. The Snapper Pro, I like the deck. I like the ICD deck. I had to switch the blades out to not as aggressive higher lift because I was having trouble with the higher lift blades on it, so I had to go with the older style high lift, and works fine, works great bagging system for it. It's the only reason why I still have it, is just the bagging system's phenomenal. It's an upright, and that upright fits really good in my 7x16 trailer. So if you have any questions about the Snapper Pro, let me know. I'll be honest with you. And that's going to be, with me, I'm going to tell you the good and the bad with every piece of equipment that I have. I'm not going to tell you, all fluff, because I've owned a lot of equipment over the year. I didn't own just one piece of equipment, and now it's my favorite thing, and it's the best thing since sliced bread, yada, 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 yada. I will tell you that some of the things that I've don't like about Snapper Pro is, as you can see, this has had to be welded here. This whole back piece has had to be welded. I have a feeling that Ferris Snapper Pro, their metal is cheap, and it just could not contain the weight of this bagger, and we're always welding this little piece. And I chose to weld it because I didn't want them sending me another piece just to have it do it again. I did that at first, and I've owned 3 Snapper Pros, 1 Ferris, and I like the Snapper Pro. Every one of them's had this issue though. This metal is absolutely garbage when it comes to this. The Vanguard engine's very good, but as you can see, this contraption here is just, it looks silly, but it was necessary. We had to put electronic fuel pump on it because it was always overheating and causing it to vapor lock. So we had to go this route. We had to run lines and do all kinds of crazy stuff. Not a big fan. I've had 2 Vanguards that have done that, and so I'm kind of staying away from the Vanguard a little bit. Maybe the EFI part of it will work better. It doesn't do it as much anymore, but when it gets extremely hot above 90, she will start dumping fuel into the cylinder. So when it's above 90, you'll have a little bit of tough time starting it because it'll start to burn that extra fuel out, and then it's fine after you get it going. But I don't like that, and I've had 2. This is a 36 horsepower. My 32 did the same thing as far as vapor locking. Now the only problem I have since I went to this system is it dumps fuel. It must push past the float just enough. As you can see, the old fuel pump's not in there anymore. It's the electronic fuel pump remounted over there. Not a big fan of that. I called Ferris, and I've talked to them numerous times, and obviously they don't know anything. No one knows anything. And, but I'm still a Ferris fan. If I had to pick what my favorite mower would be as being 42 years old and 20 years in the business, it would be a Ferris. I'd pick it just because of the comfort. I like the ICD deck. I don't like these engines. These Vanguard engines do not like heat. And here's what I think the problem is. I think that this muffler is enclosed because of this bagger plate that holds a bagger on, and I think that it heats this area up too much, and that's the problem with it. I think if it was a wide open pattern and it had more time to exhaust a little bit, it would be better. It wouldn't heat as up as much, because it doesn't do it when it's between 70 and 82. You start getting into the 90s, this thing will start dumping fuel into when you let it sit. And I'm just not a big fan of it. They need to think of it. I shouldn't sit here and have to wonder why it's dumping fuel or it's vapor locking. It's just silly. So hopefully they'll see this video and actually fix it, because I've talked to them quite a bit up there. But Ferris is my favorite mower. Ferris mower. The only reason why I bought this is at the time when we were running 2 crews, I needed something economical, and I needed something not only economical, but I needed it to be affordable too. I think I paid $8,000 for this, and I already had the bagger system, so I just transferred from the Ferris to this, and then my other Snapper Pro, which I sold the other 2. Like this mower, it's a good mower. So I ended up going, because of all the problems I had, I wanted an EFI, and I didn't trust the Vanguard EFI last year, so I went with a Toro. The Toro 3000 series, which is as small as commercial mowers I go. As far as zero turns to me, you can't go wrong. Commercial the whole way. I don't play with the bad boy at Tractor Supply or the Hustler, or they're quote unquote semi-commercial. No, they're not commercial. This minimum I would go on pumps is 3100s, and there's 3100s on here, and I don't even really like that. I think that's a little too small. I like the 5400s. I like the bigger transaxles, because if you're mowing a lot, I mean, you're mowing 9-10 properties a day with these things, and they're running all day. You want the biggest transaxles you can get. You don't want anything smaller than that. The 2100s, anything under 3000, you're gonna have issues. I mean, they're gonna heat up. They're not made to take that abuse. They're made to be used an hour and a half, 2 hours a week. For a homeowner, that thing will last. But, for a guy that's out there just putting a lot of heat on it, you're going to have issues. So that's my suggestion. I do not suggest at all buying anything that's, so quote unquote commercial. Go get commercial. This is the bottom line of the Toro I would get. They have a 2000 series. It's commercial, but I'm not quite sure. It's borderline, so I would go with this is the least, 3000. I've had no issues with this mower so far. The only thing I've had is that this computer right here, where the hour meter is, the gas gauge sucks. That gas gauge does not keep an accurate reading of the gas, so I don't like that. As you see, I put that little shut-off thing on. I had a friend of mine make that, and that's beautiful. The deck is great. Love the deck. It's the Turbo Force. I think it's one of the best decks made on the market. I like the ICD, the Ultra Cut, and the Turbo Force are my favorite decks in the market, hands down. That's it. I think those are the 3 best decks made in the industry. The thing I would say about this deck, the thing that it struggles with the most is when you are cutting a high 8 to 12 inch fertilized lawn that's thick and it's got moisture in it. This deck does not perform well in that situation. In fact, it's very hard. What you'll have to do is cut it, knock it down, go around back, cut it down, then come back and double cut it. This deck here struggles in high wet grass. They all do, but it seems to me this one struggles a little bit more. If it's high and dry, geez, this deck's just phenomenal. But once you add moisture to fertilized grass, now non-fertilized grass, I've never had an issue with it, just fertilized. As far as I have a shelf up here. I just keep oils, bee killer. This is part of my pass system. A little trim saw in case I need it when I'm out in the field. Tire inflator, some Miracle Grow for my roses, stays up there. Over here I just have some basic landscape supplies on the side wall. I do use the trailer for a little bit of that. I have the pass system, the 280 pass system right there. I have the 266T for any ditch work that I may need to do. Very nice weed eater, 260C Echo. Probably my favorite as far as power, not my favorite when it comes to weight. And just very powerful. I like that Echo, just powerful, really powerful, excuse me, but just heavy. I don't like using the heavy just to go around the house. Some extra bagger belts, some deck belts back here, some extra bungees. I use this steel as my little blower. I have 2 of those. got my triangles. If you need to have triangles for your dot protection. Behind that BR600, I mounted the fire extinguisher to the wall. I have a safety kit right here in case we get cut or something. My fix-all duct tape sits up here. Here's my other little parts. Got my little pee cup. Everyone, what is that cup? It's my pee cup. That's what I pee in. Up here I have my echoes for my trimmers, and I have the 56C for my other set of trimmers. These are lighter. These are lighter, but they don't cut as well as those. So if you're trimming a bush and it's more fine and needs redefined, and it's got like finer needles on it, this is going to give you more. You're going to have to go over the bush more with this than you do with the HC 155s, or I can't remember what those ones are, HC 150. And I just keep a little trim saw just right here, cut up in there, and I can grab it if I have to trim a branch real quick. I'm out. My gas, this gas is 3 gallons of gas. I fill that up once a week. This is my 50-to-1 mix. I fill that up about maybe every 3 weeks, 5 gallons. Just some miscellaneous. I got my locks, just some miscellaneous, my scraper, my little hand, my little Oka stones, little hand trimmers there, and just some basic stuff. I have my line right here, up underneath here. That's where I put my line at. My backpack is BR600 just because it's light, not because it's the most powerful. If you've seen my videos, you absolutely know that I'm a Red Max fan until someone beats the power of the Red Max. This is my Time Master, and for as far as the Time Master goes, I push mow maybe 2 hours a week total, so I don't really need a commercial one there. And I do like the Time Master. I've had some transmission issues, so I'm only using it 2 hours a week. I think I've went through 2 transmissions between. I have 2 of these. The other one's in the garage. So I have had some transmission issues in 3 years. I've had 2 transmissions replaced. These are the first models too. They may have fixed them by now. I've been fertilizing lately, so I have this in the trailer. What I will do is for the day, I'll load up the fertilizer right here. You can see that today I fertilized, so there's about 6 bags in there, and I have 2. That one's Merit, the other one's just regular. I have 2100 with Merit, and the other one is just regular fertilizer. And I just put all my fertilizer right behind there. Today I think I loaded 7 bags, and I went out and fertilized in the morning. I went to go cut grass and it started raining. And then my trimmers are on this wall. It's their 323Ls. I love them. They're light, they're powerful. The only suggestion I would say is go to an 80 line and they'll work even better. Don't go 90. You go 95, it will bear down on you when you're trying to cut heavier stuff. You go 80, it works well. I use the Gator Magnum line. They sent me the wrong line. They sent me the square regular line, but since I'm a nice guy, I didn't feel like sending it back. I like the silver Gator Magnum line with the square Gator Magnum line with a little bit of a, there's like a little metal piece on the inside. I've been using this. This will do. It's okay. It's not the best. It's not bad. I'll use it, but I like that best. Gator Magnum line to me is the best line on the market. Nothing's even really close to it. I've tried the Shakespeare ugly line and it just doesn't work well for me. And that's about it. I have my little handheld stuff, my Oka stones, hand pruners, shears, and my little loppers behind that. I just keep them right there, and that's it. That's the tour of my trailer. Nothing fancy. This is all from Lowe's. No fancy bells and whistles. I just went and bought these little racks here for my trimmers, and I have everything I need. I have the big edging shovel if I dig out something. I got a rake. I got this scoop shovel. I got my garbage. Everything I need's in here. I got tools back up here. I got a socket set up here. I've got parts in the bottom of this. I've got my fluid film up in here. My Pennzoil oil for the mowers and the hydraulic fluid, and I got everything I need. I just keep it as simple as possible for what you're doing. You don't have to get elaborate and fancy. I haven't cleaned it out because I've been so busy lately, but that's the tour of my trailer, guys, and there you have it.